All right, what's going on, everyone? This is Pilo with Digital 262, and you are watching Elite Talk.
Elite Society. Let's get it in.
All right, what's going on, my Elite Society? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Elite Talk. We are here in the studio with my man, G.
What's going on, King? How you feeling?
What's going on, G? How you feeling today, bro?
Same old. Staying out the way.
Same old, same old.
Staying out the way.
Come on, man. One day you're going to come in with, guess what happened to me this week? One of those, you know what I mean?
Still be out the way.
All right. That's good. Sometimes it's good to be out the way. I hear you, man. But in this corner, we got my man TJ. What's going on, bro?
What's going on? Beautiful people of Elite Society. What's going on?
Yeah, man.
Man, we just another day in the office, man. What's up? We got the giggles today, man. What's good?
I think it's the drink, man. That drink, the camera picked that up really good. It's like
he ain't had none of this.
Glow in the dark. I wonder if you light it up and you turn off the lights, it'll glow.
Yo, this the antifreeze. I shouldn't have a candle next to it.
Toxic.
It might burn down the studio.
Toxic.
You just try not to overheat. Try not to overheat.
No, but for those who are inquiring minds, this is a Midori Sour. Classic drink. It was introduced, Studio 54 nightclub, classic nightclub drink. Studio 54, for those who don't know, it was like a popular New York nightclub. Mick Jagger, Liza Minnelli.
All the bigwigs were
everybody,
there. Yeah.
Andy Warhol. Yeah, they kicked it back in the day. So, I mean, nice, sweet little drink.
Oh, yeah. I wish we can go back to that. I wish I would have loved to visit Studio 54.
It was crazy, man. You could never get in back in the day.
Yeah. I heard it was a lot of coke, a lot of drugs. My God.
A lot of debauchery going on, but maybe it's a good thing they shut down.
Probably.
Yeah. I'm feeling real New Yorkish today, so
it's an interesting looking drink.
Oh, yeah.
Tell you that much.
Oh, yeah. You want some, man?
Nope. I got
what you drinking there, G?
Apple cider.
Apple cider.
I don't know when it was made, what club it was in. I don't know none of that. It's just in this bottle that I opened up with a white cap.
He don't even got the crackers this week, man.
And I ain't do the crackers. Man. I forgot, y'all. I got you.
Tripping.
You tripping, bro.
Yeah.
But once again, my Elite Society, thank you.
I know what year it was made.
Oh, what year was it? 2015?
1868.
1868.
So ancient.
Okay, if you say so.
Anyway.
But today, gentlemen, I'm glad we're here today because we have a very interesting conversation that I would like to have today. Yeah. And I just want to have full disclaimer, okay, before we get started, that this podcast is not intended to offend anyone, okay?
Not at all.
We do this podcast because we wanted to bring a platform for men to have conversations and talk and kind of confide in each other and topics of, about sexual health, about mental health, about relationships, marriage, divorces, and things of that nature. Yeah. Today's topic is going to be a little controversial, but just know that we love everyone, and we're not here to offend any group. We love our Elite Society. We love our viewers. We love you all, okay? So I just want to make that clear.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
all right?
Yeah, most definitely.
So today, we have, like I said, we have an interesting topic, but TJ, I want you to tell us, what are we going to be talking about today?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, today we'll be embarking on the journey of, we all heard about gender roles in society, whether men versus women, and do gender roles really apply in the year 2023, or should we kind of shift our mentalities and adopt different, ideologies of this view? Because, we still see traditional situations, but we also see more alternative situations where, men are quote unquote act more feminine, or, women act more masculine. So we just want to discover that and just uncover what's right, what's wrong. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But before we touch on that topic, I want us to be clear, and I want the audience to be clear of our definition of what femininity or masculinity mean to us. So I want to ask you guys the simple question. And G, I want to start with you. So to you, G, what does it mean to be masculine?
I guess just my point, I guess to do something that's like powerful, like some more hands-on. Like men, we we do a lot of things that deal with our hands. You know what I'm saying? So
do things that men do.
That men do, right? You know, fix on cars, get our nails dirty. You know what I'm saying? Do stuff like that. You know, moving stuff, picking up the heavy stuff. That's to me, that's what that mean when it come down to masculine. Then, you know, feminine. How you say it?
Femininity.
That.
Yeah. Really? Femininity. Trust me, I struggle with that word too.
So I'm not going to even say
femininity.
Femininity. What TJ said.
Yep.
That's more to like when I hear that or whatever in a role is more of like you know, they do the neat stuff. That's like the neat way. Like, you know, they keep their nails clean.
Yeah.
Say that.
Things that are expected out of a woman.
Yeah.
No? Okay. That's very good. But TJ, let me ask you the same question. To you, what does it mean to be masculine?
To me, being masculine is being assertive, just being manly, borderline aggressive, but not aggressive in an unproductive way, aggressive in a way to where you understand that you're the leader. There's an objective that needs to be held, and you have to set that standard and keep your family in line and keep yourself in check. You know, it's just leadership. Is how I would define masculinity.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
Like non-emotional, more just stoic. Those are the traditional values that society has instilled in us in regards to like masculinity and its principles.
Yeah, right. Well, let me ask you on the flip side, what does it mean to you to be feminine?
Feminine, it's like the yin and the yang, you know, the masculine and feminine. Femininity to me is like a softness, women being like nurturing and loving, and the opposite of what everything that I describe masculinity, like it's the opposite of that. So it's that yin and yang, it balances out in relationships. So I mean, every relationship has that, but I guess what the problem is that society puts it in a box. Like men have to be masculine, quote unquote. Women have to be in that box being feminine, but the roles have reversed a lot these days.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, this is 2023. So you have men out there that are acting, quote unquote, feminine. And then you have women that take on the role where they wear the pants in the relationship.
Very masculine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. In 2023, do you guys believe that let me start all over because I'm a very traditional man. Okay, I was born in the 80s, and when you're born in the 80s, I think I'm Gen X or Gen Z. What is it? You guys know?
In the 80s.
I'm an 80s baby too. But I don't know. But I was born in the 80s. And now in the 80s, when a male is born into the family, the father teaches them how to be nothing but a man.
Yeah.
Plays the sports, plays, you know, the football, the boxing. As a matter of fact, when I was maybe 5 years old, I remember my dad gave me my first sip of beer. You know, so you were expected as a boy, as a male, to have this masculine persona about you. And if you show any type of femininity in your family or your dad's gonna look at you like, you know, what the hell's wrong with this boy? I gotta fix that.
You know, sissy boy.
You're a sissy. That's funny because that's what they would call us, sissies. And you know, so you were looked at a certain way if you show any type of feminine, any femininity, qualities, anything. You know, so you were taught to be a man and show masculine traits. But in 2023, I believe that's changed completely.
It's out the window.
It's out the window. So now you got these men that if you do not show some type of feminine feminine role or feminine trait, then you're looked at as, you know, what's the word I'm looking
emotionally
for?
Detached.
Emotionally detached. A very there's a certain word I'm looking for, man. But you're not looked at as in a good light, especially by the women. You know, you have to show some type of femininity for them to even accept you or try to talk to you or be more accepted. I mean, am I wrong for saying that? I mean,
I disagree with you on that. I feel like that was valued back in the day, but I think now women actually, not all, but most women respect that masculine energy. You know, not being an initiator, being a provider, not reacting. The world could be falling apart. And as women, it's expected that the woman gets emotional and freaks out, but the man has to stay strong and solid. And we talked about in our last video, toxic masculinity. More women respect that because it allows a man to just hold his frame, stay in his masculine frame. And it's like, well, he's the man, he's running this. And they're turned on by a man that is taking initiative and who's like dominant. Women want to feel no woman, whether they want to admit it or not, no woman wants to feel like she's with a man who she's more masculine than. She wants to feel like she could take the back seat. She can chill in the passenger seat and the man's driving and he's going to lead the way to the destination.
So can I disagree with that a little bit?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I disagree with that too, TJ. I'm going to tell you why in a minute.
Go ahead, yeah.
And the reason I say I disagree with that a little bit, because you got more women nowadays want to take that man role.
Yeah, yeah.
They want to... They want to have a man and they want him to be the man, but they want to be the man too.
Yeah.
They want to run everything. And if you don't allow them.
You feel like most women want that these days?
Yes.
Like they want to be equal to the man. Not take over, but be equal? Is that fair?
Be equal or more.
Yeah.
Because and sometimes it don't even go by like the physical as of what they do. Sometimes it is the language.
Yeah.
Like they want to overpower the man. And it's like, okay, what do you want? Do you want a man to be the man and take that role, or do you want that role?
Yeah.
So if you try to say, "Oh, I don't want no soft dude," then let us be the man. Shut up.
Yeah. Well, you see, I think. Damn, G.
Triggering.
Woo. But
Shut up.
That's that apple cider.
Why do you disagree?
Well, I disagree because I see it all the time. You know, especially now at the height of the Me Too movement. Let's say, for example, where women believed that they have the ability to have a masculine persona about them and just be more dominant than a man. I mean, I disagree with the entire Me Too movement. You know, but I do agree, and let me be clear about something. I do believe that, let's say, for example, a woman in a workplace. Let's bring that in as an example. Okay, I believe there should be equal pay, of course, but
absolutely.
There's certain jobs that women can't do. There's certain things that women can't do. Okay, biologically, there's certain things physically that women can't do. So I can see and I can appreciate why a man, let's say, for example, in certain positions, will get paid more than a woman. Or in a relationship, right? How a man socially it's expected to open the doors for a woman. Okay, you know, if you guys are on a date and another man approaches your woman and says something that it's very very mean to her or something like that, you're expected as a man to defend her. Right. So there's certain things that I believe that only a man can accomplish, but I believe that women nowadays, especially now, want to take on more of that role.
Do you feel like they take on that role? Because you're saying that women want to take on that role.
They do.
Do you feel like they really want to, or do you feel like they have to? They have to. Yeah, they're used to that.
I feel like they want to, because if you look at it now, look, and I use this example. Look at sports, right? Football. I love football. That's my thing. I love football. Yeah. You got the FL, the lingerie football league for women, right? Okay. They're saying, okay, if men can do it, we can do it. That's their slogan. If a man can do it, we can do it. Okay, I get that. Right. But it's some things that, not saying that y'all can't do, it's just some things that y'all don't need to do. What you don't have to prove, and I think it's just more of women try to prove themselves to a man to say, if you can do it, I can do it too. But you don't got nothing to prove to me, sweetheart. Yeah. You just stay your role and be sweet and sexy.
What's their role? Just being that
sweet and sexy.
Well, you know, if you think about it, and that's a great point, G, because if you look at the NFL for women, now, do you believe that would you watch that? And if, let's say, if the women were suited up like men, would you watch it?
Hell no.
Right, exactly. So that's my point. So in order for them to be successful, they have to put them in lingerie. They have to put them in skimpy clothes. They should have to show that feminine aspect of being a female and that sexy look in order for them to be watched.
And then to play a dominant male game or a male role, I don't agree with that. But what they have on, as me being a man, yes, I would love to see that.
So there's not women out there who love the game of football just as much as you do?
I'm not saying that, because I came across a lot of women that love the game of football, but
who just want to play.
I guess we can't take them serious.
Who not only want to play, but they don't want to be sexualized. You know, they just love the game. Can that not exist?
They can love the game, sit back and watch it with me. You can watch it with me loving it.
What if they want to play?
Well, you know, you go with Bob the Builder and go play.
I see where you're coming.
You don't agree with that?
I don't, because then when it comes down to something, and I don't even know what women's sport. What is a woman's sport?
Exactly. Is it a sport general?
Is it a women's sport? Because if it is a women's sport and we manage to do it, guess what they're gonna say? They're gonna say the same thing. Why are you playing our stuff?
Yeah.
I don't really agree with that.
Because if they saying, once again, it goes back to that slogan. if y'all can do it, if y'all men can do it, us women can do it. But then if we come back and turn around and we say that and we want to do something, is wrong that we do that.
I feel like most women, I don't feel like it's women trying to compete with men. I feel like it's women used to dealing with weak ass men who are suckers who don't take initiative. Yeah. So they feel like they have to hold up the weight or else, it's going to fall down.
So why do they have to though, TJ?
Because every woman, no matter how successful you are, I've came across women who make over 100,000 a year, and they're accomplished. They got a master's degree. Some of them have doctorates. Yeah. No matter how strong they are, I talk to them and they say, you know what? It'll be nice if I could find a man equal to or greater than me, so I could just chill.
Right.
But they don't allow that
because every woman, she wants to. Like I said, that's just human nature. Women, they don't want to be the ones out there hunting and laboring. They're doing it because they feel like they have to, because they haven't found a man that reaches their standard or who could do that or
you really think a woman that reaches that pinnacle of their life, you think they really have a hard time finding a man that would do that?
They have an abundance of men, but the men aren't quality. Because if I was a woman and I had a master's degree and I had a job where I was making $150,000 a year, I wouldn't want no back in the day, the TLC song, Scrub. I wouldn't want a man like that. So you would have to be on my level or higher for me to even consider submitting to you. Not to say that it's about money, but it's about initiative. It's about that leadership. And no matter how successful or how unsuccessful you are as a woman, every woman wants a man. Women want winners. Women don't want losers. They don't want a guy who's less accomplished than them.
Right, of course.
Because they're not going to submit to that. They want a man that they can look up to and be influenced by, who respects them as an equal.
So can I put this in there though?
Yeah.
That's fine and dandy. I get that 100%. But if a woman don't allow a man to do that, how can that happen? If a woman, first off, a woman want that because of her last, whatever her last
experience.
her experience, right? So then if she come down to the next or the future or however gonna come around, if she don't come down off that high horse, she don't know what that man capable of doing. Because if you come in strong, how can I'm gonna use this, and this might be the wrong term. If she comes in strong, how can she get weak to allow that man to be strong? Because if she already put him in a weak stage coming in the gate because she's so strong, she don't know if he can be strong if she not allowing him to be strong.
She didn't put him in a weak position. She chose him for a reason, because she sees how strong he is, or she sees his potential of what he can be. So he's not in a weak position. If anything, everyone has trauma. A woman could go through trauma, right? But it's the man's responsibility to make her redirect her and have her see a different way.
But what if she choose not to see it? Because there's women that eyes come in closed and they at where they at.
Especially when they're in a high position like you were talking about. I try to believe that. I'd agree with you that I believe that with women like that, they will never allow a man.
I just feel like a man has to look himself in the mirror. Are you leading properly? Because women will naturally submit to a man who's leading properly. If you're having a woman who's having a hard time letting you wear the pants, quote unquote, then you should look at your leadership style. Maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe you're not the one you're not leading properly. No woman's going to submit to a man who she feels like isn't doing what he's supposed to do. Yeah. So you say she's not letting him, like, well, why isn't she, quote unquote, not letting you? Is it because you're not doing what you're supposed to do?
I know a lot of women just don't want to hear. And what I mean, don't want to. Okay, I'll give you an example. I had one that I came to. We talking to blah blah blah, and I told her some stuff. Because she's so powerful. Like she brings that strongness. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, you got to humble yourself.
You told her that?
Yeah, I told her. I said, humble yourself with it, because what you're doing is you turning away men if you have potential because how strong you are.
So how when you told her to humble herself, what did you mean by that? What was
not being so strong?
What was she exhibiting to make her?
Her the verbalization. She was so tough with the verbal.
Just very aggressive.
Very aggressive. It's like no. First off, coming in the gate, no man want to hear that. Like if you real aggressive verbally,
you're gonna hear that off the gate.
Most definitely, and it's okay.
You can't handle it. You're a man. You could be.
No, you can handle it, and I can handle it. But I'm telling her, like, okay, if you talking to me, you asking me this question, or you talking to me about this, tone it down a little bit, because the man want to. He want to hear the softness in you. He want to see that softness.
Especially those stronger women, they'll shit test you.
Oh, absolutely.
To see if you can handle it.
Most definitely.
And if you crack under pressure or show emotion or get upset because she's showing you a masculine frame it's really a mirage. It's not even there. She's just doing it to see how you're going to react to it.
Most definitely.
To see if you're really masculine or if you're really an alpha. And if you respond to it by telling her that she needs to humble herself, you've already been disqualified.
But then I'm not finna go back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm not finna go masculine to masculine, because then why am I fighting with something? I don't have time to fight with.
I'll tell you one thing, it's going to make a very interesting household. You know?
Right, like I'm not finna fight for that. Like, why would I sit up here and fight masculine with masculine? No, okay, sweetheart, I'm not telling you to be so software. Just humble a little bit.
You got to stand strong. You got to be patient.
I'm coming in humble, not weak, but I'm coming in humble to let you know this is what it is. Because if I come off too strong, guess what you gonna say? You coming on too strong.
Right. So but in 2023, though, gentlemen, in 2023, it's some might say, well, it's okay for a woman to be the masculine person and take charge in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, it's what do you guys think about that? I mean, because back then, at our age, we're used to for the male to be the head of the household, to be the hunter, to be the head.
Right, the gatherer.
The gatherer. But nowadays in 2023, I believe there was a switch. I believe there's a switch.
It's been a switch longer than that. What people have to realize is we're not in the 60s anymore. You know, life is an evolutionary process, so you're gonna evolve. So to answer your question, you said, is a woman adopting that masculine?
Is it okay for it to be there? Because the way we're talking is almost like we're trying to compete with the female because we need to be the ones ahead. We need to be the masculine. That's the way I see this conversation going.
That's where a lot of men fail, though. It's not love is not a competition. You have to look at love like we're both on the same team, and we want the same objective, and that's to win the championship. You may play a different role. I'm point guard. You know, you're the center. You get rebounds. You know, you play defense. But either way, you need my offense and I need your defense in order for us to win this championship. Yeah. So men have to look at it like that. But so many men get in a power struggle because their ego is so fragile. Oh, she make 6 figures. Oh, I think that she thinks she's better than me, or she got to water it down. Like, no one should have to water anything down for you. If you can't handle it, then you shouldn't be with that type of woman. Yeah. You should step up as a man and remain in your masculine frame. Be patient, and that woman's gonna see, like, damn, like he ain't responding to none of this bullshit. Like, he could take it. I could submit to him. And you're consistent, you're confident, and you're maintaining that frame. It's only a matter of time before you get what you can't get that off the gate. A woman's not going to submit to you off the gate. Yeah, you have to prove a level of worth to her in order for her to do that.
But let's take your example, TJ. And what time frame? How much can a man withstand waiting for that to happen? Because I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen women and I've met women that are in that position, and they've been married for many years. And the man, and I'm sure you guys know people like that. The men are still the ones that walk around like this.
They're suckers.
You know, they're suckers, and that never changes no matter how long they've been married. Even though inside, I'm sure he's the one that wants to be the dominant one. He's the one that wants to be the masculine one in the relationship.
But so many men put that on women. Like, oh, well, what's the time frame? When is she gonna stop acting so masculine? Like, instead of looking at pointing a finger at other people, look in the mirror and focus on being the biggest, strongest alpha yourself. And that woman's it's only a matter of time before that woman simmers down.
You think she's gonna simmer down eventually?
I'm speaking from experience. I've always dated women who at times, you know, they had more than me, you know what I mean? But I never had problems with those kind of women because I was always confident in myself. Even when I didn't have anything, when I didn't have the right to be confident, I was still confident because I have an abundant mentality. Like, yeah, she may make $200,000 a year. She a lawyer. She got this. She damn near about to be a doctor. Yeah, right. But I don't care, like, because I'm a catcher one day. Like, and it ain't even about catching her, but I'm still a man. You know, that doesn't make me more feminine because she makes more money. Yeah. So men just have to be more confident and stop trying to make it a competition because you're gonna have an uphill battle. Right. But at the end of the day, if that's a person, to answer your original question, is it okay for a woman to adopt that? Every couple has to decide which role you're going to play. If that woman's going to be in the quote unquote masculine role, then she's going to be in that masculine role, and you're going to be the statistics for stay at home dads is crazy these days. Not crazy in a bad way, but it's a big number.
A lot higher than what it was before.
Right. That's a thing. But back in the 60s, that was unheard of.
Yeah. Right.
Like women, like, you better take your ass to work and make the bacon, make the money.
Yeah.
But now it's more accepted for men to have that role.
Yeah.
Stay at home dad, cooking all the meals for the kids, and the woman is out making the money.
Right.
Are you okay with that? You have to decide that with your woman.
And that's a great point. Let's talk about what's acceptable. Okay. So nowadays, I think me and you were talking about this at our agency. How we talked about how men will allow women to pay for things, and I brought up this meme.
I think I told you, I was like, have you ever had a woman take you out?
Yeah, take you out and pay for things.
That's empowering.
Me as a traditional person, I would never allow that. To me, that's way too masculine for me.
For a woman to pay.
For a woman to pay. I was born in the '80s, man. Like I said, that's just to me. I don't want to use that as an excuse of being born in the '80s, but I was always taught that me as a man, I always have to do everything, right?
Yeah,
that was instilled in me, concrete. And I brought the meme up how you see these men, up against women,
holding them on the side
as they're paying for things.
I don't got no money hold. She paying for everything.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pop it on the screen right now. That's the meme we're talking about right now. Yeah. So every time that I end up, or I let my wife pay for something.
Psychologically, you have that.
Psychologically, so just get behind you and hold you. To me, that's the epitome of masculinity in a woman. To me, if they pay for something. Now, even though I'm married, my wife and I have joint accounts. So whatever she pays for, technically I'm paying for it.
Right.
Anyway, but it still makes me feel like you don't have to do that.
It's just you got to rewire your mindset. Like, okay, I'll use an example. I had a woman when I was dating. We were dating for a while. The majority of the time, like at least 85-90% of the time, I paid for everything.
Right.
But it was like my birthday or whatever. And she was like, I got you. I'm treating you. You don't pull out that wallet at all tonight.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, okay. So by the time the bill came, the waiter brought it back and he like gave it to me. And I'm like, nah, give that to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he gave it to her. He was like, for real? Like, man, you got to man up. And I'm like, well, I was like, well, I am a man. I'm like, well, actually, before you go judging situations, it's my birthday. She's treating me.
Yeah.
And get you one.
Yeah.
That could do both, know? And he just looked at me kind of weird, but I didn't feel a type of way because I know that the majority of the time I take care of things. Like with you, with your wife, you having a hard time having her pull out her wallet.
Yeah.
Just think about the day to day. You pay the most significant bills. You take care of the household. So it's like, it's okay for men to be treated as well. Society makes it seem like women just have to be treated.
Yeah.
And both people have to be equally treated. We're both in the relationship. We're both giving our all. And there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Well, if we're talking about the feminine, the sociological definition of being feminine, women want to be treated and we have to pay for everything. Does that mean that that's a feminine trait about you?
No,
because
you have to look at the majority of it. Do you pay for the majority, like 90% of the time, right? Do you take care of the bills?
100% of the time.
So that one time or that few times a year that she pays for you, what is
your percentage of that anyway? You said 100. What is your?
How does that put a dent? How does that put a dent in your quote unquote armor when she does that she can count on her fingers how many times she's done that, but you do it every day. It doesn't. You're still running stuff, You're still running shit. You're still the man. Yeah. So I mean, it's not. You were raised in a different generation. You're like 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
Which I was born in the 90s.
Damn.
I mean, it's a blessing to reach. Hey, I get to 42. That's a blessing, man. That's nothing wrong with that. Men get better in time. Remember that. But that doesn't hold any bearing on your manhood at all.
Yeah,
man. It's just a psychological thing. Because I was born in the 90s, and my dad instilled that in me too. But I also recognize that I'm living in 2023, and you have to have a transformative mentality.
Yeah,
So men will say too, like, how do you define femininity versus masculinity?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of women would say that a man, like, we all live in the golden age of dating, right?
Yeah.
So dating sites and stuff. So a woman pursuing a man, hitting him up on his DM, asking him to go out on a date. A lot of men will say that that's masculine versus a man waiting. If a man waits for a woman to pursue him, they will say that man's feminine. So it's like we still live in a generation like that.
Yeah.
So it's just, you have to define your own.
I won't say that with that. I'll just say it'd be the nope. I'm
say
not
it.
doing that.
Say it. You gotta say it, brother.
You can't.
You can't do that.
No, you can't.
In this podcast, we are not allowed.
We owe to the fans.
We owe it.
It'd be the wrong ones dropping in DMs. I'm gonna say that. Wrong ones.
So you're on the dating market, right? So a woman pursuing you, would you consider that woman masculine?
No.
Why?
Because she like what she see, and she gonna go after it.
Okay, so
that's just like some shoes in the store.
Yeah,
if she like what she see, she gonna go after it. Is that feminine or masculine?
So if a woman pays all the bills in the house, is that masculine?
No.
Come on, man.
No.
If a woman pays all your bills, that's not masculine to you.
No, because
you would let. First of all, would you let her?
So, and this probably sound like I'm being controversial or whatever. I would actually let her do it if that's what she want to do.
Oh, come on.
But that's saying something different than what you said earlier.
I know, but I'm saying if that's what she want to do, then that's why I said that it sounds like it's contradicting or whatever. But at the same, if she do it, she do it. But would I want that? Like, will it be like a want for me to have? No, I wouldn't want that. Like, even if I'm dating and we go out, I'm paying for it.
But what would be the situation where would you let her pay for your bills?
If I know I don't got it.
So that's not being an opportunist then.
Yeah.
Because you got to practice what you preach, whether you fucked up and broke or whether you on top.
If it goes to the point like that's the agreement we have, because it got to come to an agreement for her to do that.
Yeah.
And if that's, and of course out the gate, that's not going to be the agreement.
Yeah.
It's not good. So that's why I say if she want to. If she said, "Okay, I got this bill," all right.
But would you consider that a temporary thing? They say, for example, you pay this baby until I get back on my feet or I get a job.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Most definitely.
But not as a permanent.
Not as a permanent thing. That's not like something that will happen all the time. Yeah. Because I never had that done. Any woman that I actually stayed with or whatever situation was, it always be like she had the smaller bills. Like I told her to have the smaller bills, and I took on the major bills.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So when it's like if she pay all the bills, it's like a temporary thing. Oh, because I got to do this with my money, or I got to do that in order for that to happen. Yeah. It's not going to be it ain't going to be a whole time thing, like the whole duration of us staying together, or the whole duration of what. It ain't going to be that.
Yeah,
like I had that. Like I had went out with somebody and they wanted she wanted to pay.
Yeah.
She looking, I'm like, no, what are you doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like me personally, I wouldn't want her to do it, but if she do it.
But if she wants to, you'll let her.
Yeah, if she wants to, I'll let her.
Yeah.
So would you date a woman that was considered masculine long term?
Or overly masculine? Because some women, I believe, have masculine traits about them.
They just haven't met the right guy.
I think all women have masculine, tendencies.
I'm just speaking from experience.
I think all women have some masculinity in them.
Yeah.
But if it's like, if they no, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Do you guys believe that being masculine nowadays in 2023 is kind of a vintage kind of thing about men? For example, if my wife, we go out and I'll open the door for her, I help her up and I walk her to the restaurant and I open the door for her. I take the seat out. And I said, do you believe that 2023, that's like not, when a woman looks at that and says, well, it's just an old dude, or is that something that used to happen back in the day? We don't do that anymore.
I feel like a woman who looks down on that is like more of a modern, younger women, because they were raised in a different generation. But I feel like older, middle-aged people, they appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I feel like every woman she appreciates like chivalry, like a man just being a gentleman. That doesn't mean you're weak. You're being considerate. You're being mindful. You're taking off her coat. You're putting on her coat because she's cold.
Yeah.
Or you're opening, or you're pulling out her chair for her when you go out to dinner. Like that doesn't define masculinity or femininity. Like, I'm not gonna have my woman take off my coat or hold the door open for me. You know, that's where the traditional TJ comes out.
Yeah.
Because I was raised like that. So it's like a wider spectrum than that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's a good point.
Skip that. You open the door for me.
A woman for you? Remember, his DM is going to be on the bottom of the.
So what you're saying
actually do that. Well, why don't you introduce your DM?
Nope.
So what you're saying is you wouldn't mind that a woman opening up the door for you.
No, I'll open up for them.
Okay.
No, like
car doors, all that.
Yeah, with that, I'll actually do that. Like seriously, and that's just I think that's kind of a man's nature.
As a man, you should just do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's how you was raised. Because you know, if you truly trying to court a woman, if we just saying that, that's something you're gonna do. Because if a real woman will acknowledge that, period.
Yeah.
And when she acknowledge it, it ain't gonna just be a regular, oh my God. It's gonna be thank you. She gonna verbally say it. And I have done that. Open the door, thank you for opening the door.
Yeah.
Because that's something she's not used to. So when you manage to do it, now when you do it, just don't do it that one time. You gotta keep doing it. Because that's the issue with men.
Yeah.
They do it just to win them over. Then next you know, once they got them, they stop. You got to continue to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So have I done that? Yeah. It's kind of a nature thing. Like, you know, first off, when she opening that door, when she walking through that door, you know, I'm looking.
Yeah, I don't even have to. I don't even have to be dating you romantically to do that. Like,
True.
I mean, my mom just taught me that. Like,
it just matters.
If there's a random lady at Walmart, like I'm gonna open up the door for you.
I agree.
Or if I see you struggling, just as a man, I feel like it's, and this could be my traditional coming out. Like, I feel like it's feminine to watch a woman struggle. Like, you see a woman holding. It's like, I'll use an example, right? Say your woman runs to the grocery store and she's coming home and she's coming through the door. And, you know, she one trip shorty. You know, she got 10 bags in her arms, struggling,
Bag lady, Erykah
dropping
Badu.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just sit on the couch watching her. That's feminine. To me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You should get, first of all, she shouldn't even be, she should have called you, like, babe, I'm outside. Even if she went and picked it up, babe, I'm outside, I'm in the garage, come get the groceries.
Yeah, right.
Like, all right, baby. And then she should come up. She shouldn't have nothing to do with no physical labor at all. I feel like no matter, like I said, no matter how successful you are, no matter how you may not even got it yet, every woman respects and wants that.
Until you had kids. Women, them Jones going to get the bags.
Well, it depends.
That's
too,
a fact.
Because I have girls, so I wouldn't require them to get a bag. You know, I
skip that.
Nah.
They getting some bags.
Hey, what you say on that last podcast?
Now, if I had a son, because you gotta teach a boy how to be a man.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not gonna have my little girls. They all struggle.
Yeah, right.
How does that look?
Well, let me ask you guys another question. What do you guys think about this? Okay, and then after this, we'll move on to the next one. Would you allow a woman to propose to you?
No.
So if she does propose to you,
get your ass up.
Yeah.
No.
You wouldn't let her?
No, not at all. Because, like I said, that's the traditional TJ coming out. I'm a modern. I consider myself more of a modern man, but I was raised by a traditional dad. Yeah. So I feel like that sets the tone for a marriage. Like, that's going to show that my wife is always going to be bending over backwards for me. Yep. And she takes that seat. Yep. And I'm like, no, like, I'm the man. I'm supposed to take initiative, propose to you, ask you to be my wife, not you ask me, can you be my husband? Yeah, right. Like, I'll lose respect for you. I'll tell your ass to get up, and I'll be like, I don't think this is gonna work.
Yeah, really? Because you will leave her?
I wouldn't. I mean, I'm talking, man. The drink got
the
me.
antifreeze got you. Yeah.
But seriously though, like, no woman should propose to a man. Yeah. Like, I'm not so much traditional, but I do believe some traditions should stay intact. No women don't propose to no man. Don't get on the ground and do all that, because that's gonna set the tone of your relationship. Because that man's gonna think that he can do whatever he wants to, and you have to have a man take initiative and have a man tell you that he wants you. And that sets the tone. So I would never let a woman propose to me. And I would tell my daughters, don't you ever get on your knees to propose to no damn man.
Absolutely.
That's his job.
Absolutely. I mean, do you agree, G? What do you think? Would you let a woman propose to you?
You know, I think we talked about this before. And I think at that time I said, I don't remember that
you said you would.
Yeah. I think that time I said I would.
You said why not? Why would I stop her from being great?
Now,
yeah.
Now, seriously. So I guess I'll take it as this. Would I allow her? Yes, but
oh Lord,
this
is gonna be good.
No, well, go ahead.
This is the thing. So I will allow her, but the thing about it is, by me, she doing that, it just kind of let me know that she's actually ready. So then, but I would agree with you with that. I would agree with you saying, get up, let me do it.
Get your ass up.
Yeah, get your beep up. I'm saying, but I agree with that.
You got a dress on. You getting your knees scraped up.
So
and
it shows me. It kind of gives me that reassurance now that she is ready, because of course a man should know if he want to marry the person he's with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess my thing, I don't want to say a sign of fear, but it's like, I don't want to come to you, propose to you, tell me no. But if you say, hey, will you marry me? That's going to give me a thought to say, okay, you're ready. So then now I can come back and be like, will you marry me? So I agree with that part.
Yeah.
As an official proposal, nah.
No,
not something like, okay, can you, like he said, will you be my husband? And then we finna make a date. No, I can't. No, you ain't having that.
Can't do it.
Because I got a whole little shindig when I'm about to get engaged.
I had a question for you fellas. So do you feel like, whether it comes to masculinity and femininity, do you feel like it's energy based, or do you feel like it's gender based? Overall,
I don't believe it's gender based at all. I think
it's an energy.
I think it's energy, political, social. I think that being masculinity is something that you learn through your parents and it's something that you just pick up throughout the years. But I don't believe that has to do with gender, because I mean, I know, like I said, I know women right now that are super masculine. I know men that are super feminine. And I know men that are a little bit of both, which are the ones that women I think are attracted to most.
Because it's like the little boy who's like 5-6 years old, and you buying him Legos and stuff, and then he decides he doesn't want that. He'd rather play with a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
How do you respond to that?
Me personally, if that was my son,
this is your son.
Yeah, I would
Junior.
But like I said, I'm
legacy.
I'm a very traditional, old school person. That I'd take that doll away from him, and give him some Transformers, and I would let him play with some that's more masculine.
And you know what's crazy? Because I wouldn't allow. I wouldn't allow that.
Yeah,
you wouldn't.
No, he not finna play with no. Because I got a son, and I ain't gonna lie. I seen I kind of got pissed off of this with my son. It was about, because he's 13 now. Yeah. So this was some years ago.
Yeah. I
seen a picture with him with his son mother, pumps on, shoes. I got pissed.
Your son?
My son. I got pissed.
Yeah.
I said,
what was he doing? Dancing and
no, he just had him on.
Dancing around.
I wish he boy. And see, that's the thing. I seen the pit. I got pissed.
Yeah.
I said, if Tom, don't ever, because you introducing him to something.
Yeah. Did you have that conversation with him?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He inquiring. It was with him later on. Yeah. I just told him like, nah, bro. And of course he don't have nothing to say about it because he didn't know. He was young.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
very curious. Yeah.
He was curious. So I'm like, nah, this is not what it is. This is not. And you know it's crazy because they making toys now that plays both.
Right.
You know, is a mix, and you kind of like, you know. You got to decipher, like, do you want your kid to play that? That's why the toys my son used to love, he used to love trucks. So I was cool in that area.
Right.
Like, you buy my son a doll, don't worry about it. As soon as he
burn that,
I'm taking it. But when I seen that though, it actually.
So you don't feel like that's kind of shunning your child's level of self-expression?
No, I'm gonna let him choose that when he get older. He understands what it is. Because
you got to build a foundation first, I think.
You got to build it, because if he do that now, he don't know what it is now. He can see anything and he say, oh, I like that.
And then society's going to take over, and then they're going to dictate what he does. And that's why we have the issues we have now.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, I'm going to allow him to pick that later on.
I don't really agree with that. I feel like, society. Okay, so like, you pose the same question to me. Like, if I don't have a son, but if I had a son, and if he wanted to play with dolls, I would reroute that. Like, you're not going to play with Barbie dolls, but if you want to play with the Ken doll or whatever, like,
that's too close.
Then you can do that. Because I believe that, a parent should allow, that's that male ego in you as a dad. Like,
so you let your daughter play with wrestlers?
If they wanted to, why not? I mean, if they wanted to express themselves in however way that they wanted to, why would I take that away from them, because your child's going to end up resenting you. Could it be a phase, or could they be trying to navigate through, the system? They could, but in most cases, children are who they are. They can be influenced by certain things, but it's mostly who they are. Why, especially if you didn't expose your child to playing with Barbie dolls and they just naturally gravitate to that, that's a deeply embedded feeling.
I don't think it's a gravitation. I think it's some shown because of people they're around. Because I so the person I was dating for 5 years, she had 2 girls with my one son. So right there, that could have been an influence because they knew each other when they was 5. That could have been an influence of the girly things. The crazy thing about it is both of her, she had twins. One of them, you always have one or the other, the girly one and then the one that's the tomboy. And then nothing talking bad about it because it was kind of like a trio. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He could have gravitated to the one that was more feminine or girly and did that trait or whatever situation may be. He didn't. And I kind of let him know, and I talked to him about it. Whatever you pick later on in life is what you do later on in life. Absolutely. But what I'm showing you right now is because I'm showing you something.
Okay, so you're showing them the way that you think that they should be raised. So I feel like a child should be exposed. It's like experimentation. They should be exposed to different facets of things in life.
Raise up a child.
And then they'll come up. Well, yeah,
biblical.
Well, absolutely.
But that doesn't always apply because you have children that were raised in the church who they're not in the church at all these days. So how do you explain that?
I agree with that because sometimes
children are children.
Children are children, but if they get raised up in the church, because a lot of times and they out right now is because they was and I don't want to use the word abuse, but it was more they was forced to go to church. So like in most households, especially black household,
how's it forced? And because you naturally do it every Sunday.
No, it goes to the point. If you stay in this house, you're going to church. That's the black house. If you in this house, you're going to church. So then we had no other choice but to go. If it's 5, 6, 7 days a week, guess what we doing? 5, 6, 7 days a week, because that's how I was raised. Right. If you stay here, you're going to choice. But now when I left the house, I had a choice. But one thing that I promised my mom that I would never get disconnected from church. She said, I don't expect you to go to church every single day, but I expect you to stay connected. Can you promise me that? Right. And I said, you know what? I can give you that because I don't go to church every Sunday. I can't make it because of my job, what we do. So the reason they do that now and they are the way they are as grown-ups from kids because they was forced and they like, no, I don't want to do that no more.
Yeah, but if your son wanted to play with a doll and you're not allowing him to, you're forcing him to play with trucks, you don't think that's more detrimental?
But no, absolutely not. I don't think so.
You're not allowing him to thoroughly come to terms with that. I feel like no matter how much you try to have children, like you're not doing that, boy. You're going to do this. That's a level of force, and they're going to resent that and rebel against that anyway. So I feel like you should let a child under a controlled environment, experiment with certain things and allow them to come to terms, because when they do reach that age, they're going to be very decisive about what they want to do.
But I never forced him to play with trucks, though. That's something he naturally liked.
I'm just saying, well, you said it was an exposure thing. And
it do be an exposure.
What about the children that weren't exposed and who just naturally gravitate to that? That exists as well.
Well, I don't know because I've never been in
You know what? I think that as a child, as a father, okay, I have boys.
Okay.
I think that I've always been, the way I am right now is because my father instilled that in me as a young boy. Okay, he built that foundation. Okay, you hold doors for women, you pay the bills, you buy the food, you're the hunter and gatherer, you are the man of the household. So he prevented me. He prevented me from doing a lot of things when I was younger that would kind of sway me differently. For example, he stopped me from maybe experimenting with dolls. He stopped me from wearing the pumps like your son did one time. He stopped me from that because he was trying to build a foundation. Now later on in life, if I choose to wear the pumps, I choose to play with the dolls, that's my choice. But I think as a father, I have to protect my son. I have to instill the masculinity that I was taught and passed down to me. I think I have a responsibility to pass it down to my son.
You're protecting them against something that they naturally want to do.
No, I don't think they're naturally. Well,
because they don't know it. That's
when you say
I feel like parents, like especially with fathers. I'll use an example with sons. I just feel like a lot of fathers allow their ego to control what their child wants.
It's not ego,
I don't feel like
TJ.
that's right.
That's the thing. I don't think it's ego.
It's not.
I definitely think it's ego.
You want to know why I say that? Because
you're gonna be like earlier. You're gonna be like, oh well, I ain't having my son play with dolls. He ain't gonna be no sissy.
No. Just like I said earlier, at that time they don't know. So if it is a gravitation of what's around. If they choose thinking that object is fun, yes, they're going to play with it. So if they pick up a doll and play with it, I'm going to say, no, you don't supposed to play with that doll.
But what if they play with the doll for a month or whatever, and then they throw it to the side, and then they naturally gravitate to playing with something, wrestlers or whatever. You have to let, children are going to be children. Yes, there are influences, right? There's always an influence, but children at the end of the day, because there's children raised in the church who are disconnected from the church. The foundation matters to an extent, but a child is gonna be an individual. It
They're always gonna be naturally, curious.
Right.
But you can tell, TJ.
But you can't dictate that as a parent.
No, absolutely not. But you can tell as a parent when something's gonna be harming a child. For example, let's take the whole doll thing for an example.
How's that harming your child?
Because I think the problem that we're having now, TJ, in 2023, how we have all these social issues with the LGBTQ community and the fight back and all these social warriors and things like that is because we gave our kids too many choices when they were little. Now, and that's my opinion. Now, it's okay.
It's the way you do it.
I understand that for a kid, you have to let them be expressive. Okay, you got to let them experiment and find out what they like and find a niche.
Right.
But me as a father, I have a responsibility to show my son how to be a man. Now, whatever he does after that, maybe once he turns 15, 16, 17, 18, and he's out, and he wants to experiment new things and try to,
So why does your son playing with the doll take that away from him?
Because I'm showing because a doll is socially.
It's not, life is gray. It isn't black and white.
No, but when you're teaching them something, like let's say for example, you give them a doll, or you're letting them carry on a purse or something like that.
Okay.
So socially, that's designed mentally for things for women, things for females to have.
Men do that these days. They carry
exactly
right,
exactly.
But they're not. Those men aren't gay, and those men are masculine as ever. It's just an accessory.
Right.
Because it's a choice.
That's a choice later on.
It doesn't
it's a
define.
choice.
Exactly. That's a choice that they chose to do later on. But who's to say that when they were younger, their father was like, you know what, you can't wear you can't wear a purse, you can't do nothing. Their father distilled that masculinity into them, and then at least they have that foundation.
I'm not saying let them roam wildly. You have to have it in a contained, controlled environment. You have to let a child express themselves in a controlled environment because what you're pushing back against, I guarantee you that child's going to resent you.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I just say what you do at home is going to be expressed out in public. So that's the reason why, because if I allow my son to express himself wearing a purse at home when he was younger, guess what he going to want to do? Prime example.
Is your child happy?
With a purse?
With a purse.
So say your child's doing that. Hold on. Say your child's doing that, right? He's carrying a purse. Is your child happy?
I don't know.
You could tell if your child's happy. If your child,
but I'm not allowing that though.
Right. So you're putting your ego over your child's happiness.
So this is the thing.
You don't want your friends.
Best man.
You don't want your friends to be like, oh well,
no.
he's wearing a purse. That's gonna hurt you. That's not gonna hurt your child.
The best man. They got their part 3.
I know what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
More Chestnut's Lance.
Yeah. His son later on came out. Right.
Yeah.
After a while. It was at the beginning he didn't go with it. He was like, wait, hold up. No, this is not what it was. But then he had to think about it. Well, okay, now he's actually grown now. He know what's right. He was non-binary. He know left and he know right. He knows that. So he had that choice. Now he had to accept, okay, this is his choice at that time.
But he had that pushback from the beginning. It wasn't it wasn't a full process. He had that pushback. He was like, "You're not wearing that." It was one scene in that. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the movie, but he had an episode where he was going to like a premiere or somewhere, and he picked out a whole suit for his son.
Yeah,
and his son he wore the suit, but then he kind of deviated it where he wore like a woman's blouse under the suit.
Yeah,
and he told him literally, take that shit off. You're not gonna. I feel like
because he didn't know at that time.
He did know. His friends told him. They said,
but he didn't believe it.
What do you not? His son had lipstick on. I mean, what is it not to believe?
So this the thing. Morris Chestnut didn't, and he didn't know.
Morris Chestnut let his ego get the best of him. That's why he told him to go back upstairs and change. Period.
He's showing him, no, this is not right. Instead of allowing his son to open it up to him.
He was a man at that point, though. Your son is telling you who he is. He's showing you who he is. People could say whatever, but his son,
his friend said that.
No, he was showing him who he was.
But you know what? This is a movie, and we're talking about real life.
But it happens. Though.
It does happen. Yeah. But you know what? And just to kind of clear this up a little bit, okay. You know, we as men, okay, we have to show our kids, you know, right from wrong. And now what is right and what is wrong, I don't know. That's up to you and God. But I believe that as a man, you know, we have a responsibility to show our kids, you know, that, you know what, this is for girls and this is for boys. Okay, well, hold on. Yeah, but now if the boy, you know, that I showed as a father, what's feminine, what's masculine, what's socially acceptable for girls, what's sexually acceptable for men. Now, once I know that they have that foundation and they want to go, like I said, they want to go out to the world and experiment other things, that's up to them. I'm not going to love them. I'm going to be there for them. But at least as a father, as a man, I'm sure that he's going to have that foundation. He's going to know, you know, okay, wearing this purse is female, but I want to wear it anyway. Hey, that's up to him. But you know what? But I have to show him what's socially acceptable for men.
Because you know you've done your job as a father.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. That only satisfies your conscience as a parent.
Absolutely. What else is there, TJ? As a parent, what else is there? You have to satisfy that.
Right. But you could still have that satisfaction. You loving your child for who they are gives you that satisfaction.
But how can you? But your child is a child. So he doesn't know right from wrong.
So say he's a teenager. He wants to wear a purse or whatever.
Right. Then that's a teenager. Yeah.
So he wants to wear a purse. You said you have to teach your children right from wrong, right? So him wearing a purse, how is he a bad person because he wants to wear a purse? No, I never said
he was a bad person.
Right from wrong, you're not supposed to murder people. You're not supposed to lie and do treacherous things to people. Him wearing a purse has nothing to do with his personal character. So that has nothing to do. It just feels like men who don't want to allow that, their ego is insulted by that because and it's okay to admit that. Like you were raised you know, in the 70s or whatever.
70s, come on, man.
No, I mean,
damn.
Hey, what is that coolant got to you?
Nah, I'm good, man. No, you were raised in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have your father instilled those issues, or he instilled those principles within you, right? If you're affected by that, then that's okay. Men need to admit that. You know what? I wasn't taught that way, man. My dad would have called you a sissy back in the day for wearing this damn purse.
Yeah.
But I understand that it's 2023 now and things are much different. And you're my child. I have to love you regardless. And I need to have you express yourself. I am laying the foundation by letting you experiment and seeing both sides because you're naturally going to come to and gravitate to what you want anyway.
Right.
But me not allowing certain things or whatever, that's detrimental to a child because they're going to remember that and they're going to resent that. And they're going to act out even harder. So I feel like you should just let them rock, let them do what they do within a realm of control. Then they'll decide and make that decision quicker than they would later.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let them resent it. But in my household, household, you're not going to play with Barbies if you're a boy. The fear of God is going to come upon you. Because it's my household and that's it. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to come off as this, you know, kind of ham-fisted. I'm not that person and I'm really not. People in society, I'm not that person. I'm really not. But you know, there's certain values. Values is very important in my family, and I have to distill those values into my daughters. And
you know what's crazy? I used to think that way. Yeah, but I understand that life is transformative. Life is evolutionary. You have to adopt your mentality. Just because we're the parents doesn't mean we're always right.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you.
And that's I agree with that. We're not always right.
And we're never going to be right.
And we're never going to be right. Only thing I just say is I'm going to instill what I know as a man inside my son.
Yeah.
And I always say this because I used to say this to my son's mother. I'm going to download the software in my son. How he uses it is how he uses it. And later on, if he decides that he wants to uninstall that, and
that's up to him.
That's up to him. But while I'm right here, because I'm going to accept you for who you are, period.
Right. Are you though? Because
most definitely,
because you didn't from the rip.
But see, this
you only did it when you had to.
No. I never. That's not what it is.
That's not the definition of acceptance.
But see, no, understand what I'm saying. I'm going to download my software of what I know into him. It's up to him.
You and your son are two different people.
It's up to him. But see, that's the thing. You can't take what I'm saying and deviate of what it's supposed to be.
That's what you're saying, that I believe you should be this way, and you're putting,
no. I didn't say that.
You're downloading that into your son.
I'm going to give him traits.
We lead by example.
So earlier, we talked about this in a podcast before. We said we're going to teach our kids. We taught to hunt as men, right? We taught to hunt. So if you didn't get taught to hunt, then it's like, what is it?
You can still teach your son to hunt, though.
Right. So that's what I'm just saying. I'm saying I'm teaching him the ways of me. Whatever he takes out of that and he goes different way, then that's him. I'm going to still accept it.
And I'm saying I don't feel like you're going to truly accept it. You're only going to accept it because it defeated you.
No.
You're only going to accept it because it defeated you. Because his whole existence, right? You've been trying to formulate what you think how he should be, or based on how you were raised. And I'm not saying you're completely wrong for that. You were raised a certain way that your dad raised you, right? But at the same time, we have to realize that life is evolutionary, transformative. You have to be able to get with the times.
It says in the Bible, you raise up a child where it should go,
how do you explain,
would not flee. So
how do you explain children raised in the church who they don't even?
But you raise it.
They don't even deal with God anymore.
He said we
right,
just
but even with that foundation built, and they still deviate from church. How do you explain that?
So, and we're going to go on to the next. I'm going to say this, we're going on to the next. You cannot build a house without a foundation, correct?
Right.
Done.
You have to build that foundation. And I see what you're saying. Hold on. I see what you're saying, TJ, that we feel defeated. But as a parent,
children are deviated all the time because parents put things on them. I'm literally,
as a parent, listen to me. As a parent, no, he's heated. That's that antifreeze, man. As a parent, we're always going to be defeated, man. We're always going to be defeated.
Right, but you're only accepting it because you have been defeated.
Well, because we have to. No, you're correct. Because we have to.
Exactly.
But that's the thing as a parent.
But that's not acceptance to me. Because
that is acceptance. What do you grow? You have to accept.
You grow into it. But it's like you did all this shit earlier, trying to prevent them or try to and download or and print things on them. Yeah. But at the same time, for them to just be who they were going to be all along.
But they don't know that. That's what we're saying.
Children know. Like, there's exposure for certain situations, but for the most part, children know.
We said that earlier.
We don't give children enough credit.
We said that earlier. Is exposure is what they see around them. It's not what they gravitate to.
What about the children that aren't exposed?
They're the ones that are confused.
They confused.
Why do they have to be confused?
Listen, Elite Society, if you agree or disagree, please write down.
I like this though
comments.
because
it's good. But write down in the comments if you disagree, if you agree. What are your thoughts?
Elite Society.
My Elite Society. What do you think?
I'm getting jumped right now, but I'm still holding my own.
No, you're not getting jumped. But you know what? This is a great conversation because that just proves that even though we all have different ways of parenting or showing our children masculinity,
I almost spit out the antifreeze on this table.
But you know what? The point is that we always, and it goes back to everything. Even when you talk political and you talk anything, you always want the best for your children. It's just we have different ways of doing it. Me, you guys are a younger generation. You have your ways of doing things.
I'm not that far from you.
Well, yeah, you're correct.
I just feel like parents put their happiness before their children's happiness, and I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, duly noted. So it was a great conversation, gentlemen.
I love this though. Yeah.
So if you get, like I said,
great dialogue.
My Elite Society, please write down on the comments if you disagree with TJ's rhetoric or G's correctness. Write down on the comments of this section. But you know what? This is great, gentlemen. But it just proves that all three of us are just great parents.
It just proves this dynamic, man. Like it's beautiful. Like we can be grown men and have passionate, loud conversations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we are talking about our children, but it's a beautiful dialogue to have, man. Because there's people that feel like you and G. There's people that agree with me. So it's like
absolutely.
If y'all agree with them, say I.
You should create a poll.
I am going to create a poll. That's a great thing.
That'll be good.
So go on our YouTube page and go under community. Okay, in the community, I'm going to set a poll, and you tell us who do you agree with. All right, and now in our next podcast, hopefully we'll have enough participation.
We'll get a consensus.
We'll get a consensus on the next one. But let's move on, gentlemen, because I want to show this video now. At the beginning of the podcast, I did put a disclaimer that, remember, we're not here to offend anyone. So we have a segment called Single, Married, Divorced. Okay, well, we're going to give you 3 perspectives on whatever issue you want us to kind of touch on. And we have a submission from Ms. Desiree, and she's from Taylor, Texas. And she sent us Tyler, Texas. And she sent us a question.
That's
the femininity. I mean, yeah. It has to be Taylor, not Tyler. Be a man.
Right.
No. But she sent us a video from Tyler, Texas. And it's a very interesting question, gentlemen. And I want to get your perspectives on that. Okay? And remember, this is coming from a single guy, a married guy, and a divorced guy. And from our answers, see if you can figure out who's the married, single, or divorced guy, all right?
If you haven't figured it out yet.
If you haven't figured it out yet. All right, here we go. Check this out.
Hey guys, I have a question for you. So all of you are parents, right?
Yeah.
How would you respond if your kids came out as transgender, given the culture? Would you support them or not? Why or why wouldn't you? Where is your stance on that?
I feel like she's setting us up.
Yeah,
is it an ironic?
This is a setup. Yeah. But you know what? She wants to know if your child comes out as transgender or gay, let's just say it that way.
Yeah.
How would be your reaction? How would you handle it? So who wants to start? G, you want to get this one?
I'll start it. I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning when I first hear it, of course I'm gonna be hurt, because I'm gonna be like, and as you say, we're gonna be defeated. That's where that comes in at that moment.
Yeah.
Okay, what have I done wrong? And then when I talk to him, I would ask him, what have I done? Was it me? What did I do? And then at some point in time, because again, I had to at some point accept it, I would say, okay, if this is what you're going to do, I'm gonna still love you the same way.
Yeah.
Because I can't stop loving you because of what you are right now.
Yeah.
You had your opportunity to pick and choose the lane you want to go down. So whichever lane you're gonna go down, I will support it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do my best to support it. Now, if you feel like I'm resenting a little bit or I'm shell offish, charge it to my mind, not my heart. I just gotta continue to try to accept it and work through it, but I'm gonna work through it with you.
Yeah. That's a great answer. Great answer. Yeah. So what do you think, DJ?
Yeah. Well, I have daughters, for those that don't know. If they came out as transgender, my daughters wanted to be a boy and that identified with being more male, I wouldn't love them any different.
Yeah.
I will support their process and, what they want to do. I'm just a firm believer that people should do what they want to do. Whatever makes you happy, do that, pursue that. Because if you suppress it, or for so long society has oppressed people, you couldn't be who you were because of you were scared of scrutiny, public scrutiny, or you were scared of how your parents were going to view you or whatever. But if my daughters came out that way, I would support them. I mean, it wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, right.
If they wanted to be a boy, if they wanted to date other women, I'd support that, and more so because they're not being touched by these nasty boys. So I'm sorry. It's the antifreeze.
It's the antifreeze.
But I wouldn't love them any different.
Yeah.
They're still my babies. I still had them. I just want them to be happy at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, it's a great answer. And I'll piggyback off of you guys too. I have a stepdaughter that she's lesbian. And let me give you guys a quick story. Okay. I'm gonna make this quick.
Okay.
But she came out about maybe 5 years ago to my wife and I. And at first we took it very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard, especially my wife. My wife, I remember she locked herself in the room for a couple of days. She wouldn't come out.
Oh, wow.
And then when I went in there and I asked her the only questions that she had, because she wouldn't talk to her daughter at all. It was like she completely disconnected from her. And so she would ask questions like, what did I do wrong? How did I fail? How did we fail? And things like that. And be honest with you, I had the same questions too. And I actually sat down with her and I told her, hey, I love you. Whatever path path you choose in life, you're old enough to be smart about it. Just know that I'm your father. Your mother's here for you. We're gonna support you. It's gonna take some time. And don't get me wrong, we don't like it. I'll be the first one to tell you, I do not like it.
Yeah.
Do I have crazy thoughts? Oh, absolutely. Every day to this day, I still think that I can slap the gay off of her. I still think that I can, ship her off to some magical island so she can bathe in the waters of Lake Wanakanda or whatever, and then she comes out, she's gonna be good and she's gonna like the D again, But she's
gonna like the what?
I was trying to slide past that.
Emphasis on the D.
Emphasis on the D. Maybe she'll like it again as she, purifies her soul and Lake Wanakanda or something. So I that's something that I still struggle with every day to this day. Still, and I'm always going to struggle with it. But do I love her? I love her to death. If there's anything that I can do for her to help her in any way, I'll still be there because I'm a father first.
Absolutely.
Will I agree with her lifestyle? Absolutely not. I'm a conservative. I'm a Christian. I do not agree with that. But I will support her.
Okay.
In every way, shape, or form. I will support her, and it doesn't change, like you said, TJ. It doesn't change my love for her. Yeah. It doesn't change anything that I feel.
Still
for
raised
her.
you, still had you.
I'd still. She's my baby. I love her to death.
Absolutely.
And whatever she decides in life, I'm going to support. So, but like I said, do I like it? Absolutely not.
Very dynamic question.
Yeah.
Thank you, Desiree. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, Desiree. Thank you for the question. I hope that we were able to help you with that. So, gentlemen, this has been a very, very interesting conversation.
Heated. Probably one of our most heated
I think
conversations
hot,
ever.
bro.
I love it though.
I was looking at the little bar, and the whole time that bar at the bottom
was red, right? I saw that too. I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Base mode activated.
Oh my God. That tells you right there when it's red how good the conversation is right there.
Yeah. This was fire, man. I love this.
Yeah, I love it. And that's why we do this. We do this, because we want to help our society. We want to help people out there. So, gentlemen, with all that being said, let's do final thoughts. All right. We'll start with you.
A relationship with no gender roles. We both hustle. We both cook. We both clean. We both pay. We both spoil each other.
Okay, we both spoil each other. I like that.
That's the ideal situation for anybody.
What you got, TJ?
I would just say, gender, as far as masculinity, femininity, I think we should just dead that. Society taught us a certain way, but we live in the year 2023. So only you can define that with your partner. Well, not only individually, but collectively with your partner. So whatever works for your team to win the championship, that's what you should go for. So
absolutely. Very good. Yeah. So my elite society out there, thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Elite Talk. And don't forget, go to our website, www.digital262.com. Upload your video. Okay, you can go on to the Elite Talk portion of the website. The first thing that you'll see is upload your video. Upload your videos. Ask us a question, and we will be more than happy to answer it here on our podcast. So with all that being said, we love you from Elite Talk, my elite society. To the next one.
Peace.